Shall we start?
Yes, sir, we can.
Good morning, students. Today we are entering our 16th day of our workshop. We have with us Mr. Viswajit Kale, application specialist from Chromatogram Enterprises, Mumbai. So, Mr. Viswajit Kale has worked as a faculty member for UG and PG students in Biomedical Science Department of Ram Narayan Ruwa College, Matunga, Mumbai, from 2015 to 17. Then he worked at the Institute of Chemical Technology (ICT), Matunga, Mumbai, as project research fellow for the industrial project of formulation of controlled and novel drug delivery system sponsored by Phoenix Pharmaceuticals USA between 2017 to 2018. Since 2018, he is working at Antrom Enterprises Private Limited as an application specialist in India-specific HPTLC application research lab. He has completed several analytical projects for different customers. Mr. Viswajit has developed several new HPTLC methods for our customers in academia, pharma, food, forensic, herbal, and specialty organics. He has traveled all over India to provide trainings to our customers as per our requirement in troubleshooting HPTLC systems and HPLC applications. He has attended more than 15 national conferences and workshops.
संध्याकाळी तिने कॉल नाही केला. आज कदाचित नाही जायचं असेल, उद्या बघूया. आज दुपारपर्यंत.
He has attended more than 15 national conferences and workshops and revealed different aspects of HPTLC techniques. So with this short introduction, I invite Mr. Viswajit Kale to deliver his talk. The floor is yours, Mr.
Thank you so much, sir, and thank you, Biotech Innovation Ignition School, BIIS and CITARE. Thank you for arranging these sessions, and thank you for giving us this opportunity to present ourselves as a HPTLC experts. So I'm Viswajit Kale. I welcome you all in this webinar organized by BIIS. And I'm from Ancrom Enterprises India Private Limited and working as application specialist. Along with me, my assistant lab manager, sir, Dr. Saikat Malik, sir, is there to give answers of your queries. So you can ask your queries related to TLC and HPTLC and whatever topic we are discussing in this session in Q&A box given or in chat box, and some questions we will take live at the end as time allow us. So my sir is also there, my lab colleagues are also there in this meeting. So again, welcome you all. Very good morning to all. I'll start with sharing my screen and I'll start with the presentation. I will focus mainly on HPTLC techniques, instrumentation and its application. And you can correlate the things, how HPTLC is beneficial in your research area. And it is a modular system and very sample friendly, means we can say matrix friendly technique. So from any complex sample matrix, we can do the analysis of our analyte of interest. So in that regard, HPTLC is very useful. I will show you the brief instrumentation along with some applications in pharmaceutical industry as well as in botanical research industry. So you can correlate your research work, how you can utilize HPTLC for fulfillment of your aim behind your research area. So that you can correlate. Now, without further delay, I'll start sharing my screen to give you the presentation. I hope my screen is clearly visible and I'm clearly audible. Dr. Saikat sir, are you there?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay, sir.
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Okay, and my screen is okay,
Yes,
sir? It is in full
yes.
screen mode?
Yes.
Okay, okay. Yeah, thank you. So again, thank you BIRSC for giving us this opportunity. Our topic of discussion today is HPTLC instrumentation and its applications. You can find us. Enchrome is the whole and sole distributor of CAMAG HPTLC instruments in India and nearby countries. From last 40 years, we have strong tie-up with CAMAG. So if you want to go for CAMAG HPTLC systems, you should have to contact us. Along with that, for TLC, HPTLC and planar chromatographic related any queries, application support, any developed method you want, you can write us on given contact details. So this is our social media presence. You can find us on these social media links. We are there on LinkedIn. We are there on Facebook, on YouTube. You can find our YouTube channel. There you can see many more applications and videos, tutorial videos. You can visit our website for further queries and inquiries. Our culture is always student friendly, researcher friendly, and up till now, more than 5,000 Indian scientists we have trained in this field of HPTLC. You can write us on lab@ancrum.in anytime. And this is our WhatsApp number. You can call or WhatsApp on this number for further queries. This is our YouTube channel. I request you all to please subscribe this YouTube channel for more details.
Your slides are not moving. I think it is still in the first slide.
Okay. I think this is the problem of full screen mode here on this.
No, we are not getting full screen mode.
Now,
Normal,
sir.
Just a minute, I'll come in 1 minute.
Okay, yeah.
Yes, now better.
Okay, now it is in full screen mode, sir. And
Yes.
slide change.
Yeah, slides are.
Okay. Thank you, sir. And sorry for this technical inconvenience. Okay. Thank. So this is our social media presence. You can find us on these links on LinkedIn. We are there. On Facebook, we are there. You can find our YouTube channel for tutorial videos and applications videos. You can write us and contact us by using our website also. Our culture is always researcher friendly and student friendly. We are there in this field since 1994 and we have started this business in 1978. So more than 40 years we have expertise, and up till now over 5,000 Indian scientists we have trained in HPTLC field. This is YouTube channel. You can subscribe this. Now coming back on topic of discussion today, that is HPTLC, how HPTLC evolved. Earlier it was TLC, manual type of TLC in 1960s. Then instrumental TLC came in picture, then software controlled TLC, then CGLP, CGMP compliant TLC. From 2016, many pharmacopoeias and regulatory bodies given guidelines how to use HPTLC for different sample analysis. So since 2016, there is a standardized methodology to perform HPTLC analysis, and therefore the improvement you can see in this field And in USP, then European Pharmacopoeia from 2018, HPTLC is now um, completely compliable. So the future of HPTLC is again very good in the hands of mostly CAMAG, because CAMAG is world leader in planar chromatography. CAMAG has launched HPTLC Pro system, that is completely automatic and robotic system, in 2019, and all the modules of that system will be in picture in next 1-2 years. So completely robotic HPTLC is the future of HPTLC. So all these milestones, mostly I can say CAMAG is a major part of this evolution of HPTLC systems. Earlier, it was a manual type of TLC, wherein you are applying samples and standards in the form of spots, and you are developing that plate or manually coated plate or pre-coated plate into suitable mobile phase up to a particular distance. That distance were not fixed. So you need to do the standardized methodology. You need to use that methodology so that you can generate reproducible results plate to plate, day to day, lab to lab. So that is only possible with HPTLC systems, where we are applying samples and standards in the form of bands. And if we apply band wise, and if we developed up to particular distance, that is 70 millimeters as per USP chapter 203 for botanical origin material, uh, we can generate optimized separated bands, and that band separation will give us more accurate qualitative analysis as well as quantitative analysis. But here in manual type of TLC, you can see we can't directly say that whether this standard spot is present in all three samples or not, because RF values are different, more diffuse bands and not more separated bands we can see, and therefore qualitative analysis is tedious. And then how we can perform quantification, and the aim behind any chromatography is separation. If we are unable to achieve separation, then what is the use of that chromatography? So in HPTLC, we can separate more number of components more accurately from each other. Therefore, exact qualitative analysis and then quantitative analysis up to nanogram, picogram level is possible in HPTLC. We are miniaturizing the things. Instead of bigger plates 20 by 20 centimeter, we are using smaller plates 20 by 10 centimeter plates. So more number of samples we can apply onto the plates, and then less time required for development of smaller plates, and less volume of mobile phase as well as different solvents is required for development of that plate. So therefore, it is a cost-effective and time-saving technique. Now, this is whole HPTLC system, right from sample application to chromatographic development, then photo documentation, detection, and hyphenation. There are many steps involved in HPTLC. So for performing each step, there is a separate module in CAMAG HPTLC system, and combination of all these modules is nothing but called as HPTLC system. And the huge data output we can generate from single HPTLC system. And in any application field, we can utilize this system, and simultaneous analysis is possible due to modular nature of this system. So right from sample application to chromatographic development, then after development, photo documentation under different illuminations, then scanning densitometry and derivatization, hyphenation, all these steps are involved, and to perform that particular step, there is a separate module. I will explain you in 1-2 slides each module, and the instrumentation behind that and principle behind that module. So as per the interest area, our research interest area, we can use a particular module from CAMAG HPTLC system or a complete set, that is complete HPTLC system as per our requirement. So sample application is a most important step in HPTLC. We can apply exact volume so that we can do exact quantification. That is possible only with CAMAG HPTLC applicators. After sample application chromatographic development, we can develop the plate under normal twin trough chambers, CAMAG twin trough chambers, or we can develop the plate into automated development chambers. Then we can capture the plate images under different illuminations directly through software or through smart DG or UV cabinet. Then we can scan the plate from 190 to 900 nanometer under any single wavelength as per the lambda max of our compound of interest. And after scanning the plate, if compound is not absorbing any wavelength of light, so we need to derivatize the plate. So on plate derivatization is very much fast in HPTLC, and after derivatization again we can proceed for quantification analysis. And suppose we want to find out the molecular mass of separated compound, we can hyphenate HPTLC with MS system, that is mass spectrometry system. Or if we want to do further investigation, characterization and structural elucidation, we can use IR, NMR, etc. techniques also. So HPTLC IR, HPTLC MS, HPTLC NMR, that hyphenation is possible through this TLC-MS interface. So all these modules are combinedly called as HPTLC system, complete HPTLC system, and one software is controlling all this system, that is latest CAMAG Vision CATS 3.0 or 3.1 software. From software we can control applicator, development option, visualization, scanning option. All these steps we can control through software. So that software is 21 CFR Rule 11 compliant. So in CGLP, CGMP environment, it is more applicable and convenient to use. By standardized methodology, we can fully validate the methods, and as per ICH Q2R1 guidelines, we are validating the methods. Reproducibility of results is plus minus 2%. Accuracy and precision is very much high, and multiple detections without repeating chromatography is possible. You can see here huge output and data output we can generate, that is images of the plate under different illuminations, then chromatograms, that is called as densitograms, then masses of separated bands, and then after derivatization plate images. All these data we can generate. So for any unknown compound analysis, it is very easy. Huge information about that unknown molecule we can generate by a single HPTLC plate analysis. And I wanted to say you that it is a non-destructive technique. So a non-destructive technique you can utilize, so your molecule will be remain on the plate up till last detection possible. So any hyphenation mode, any innovation is possible in the field of HPTLC analysis. TLC is more popular for simplicity and its low cost, but what about reproducibility? If you want to generate validated methods, we want reproducible results with good separation power. That is only possible by using HPTLC. And in laboratory, we are not only dealing with wet laboratory work, we are dealing with lot of statistical data also, and how to generate reliable analytical results and data, that is possible only with HPTLC. Again, some features of HPTLC I will not repeat again. Now, stepwise practice of HPTLC involved software activation, then suitable sample preparation and stationary phase selection. More than 50 different types of stationary phases are available in the market in the field of HPTLC from different manufacturers. Merck, Kesselnager, there are many manufacturers. You can purchase from any manufacturer any specification of the stationary phase. that is TLC plates, HPTLC plates having 5 microns particle size, 10 microns particle size, and with added indicator, without added indicator. Reverse phase plates are available. Cyano modified, amino modified plates are available. For chiral compound separation, chiral plates are also available. So as per your R&D, you can select suitable stationary phase, that is planar plate, TLC or HPTLC plate in HPTLC system. After taking suitable stationary phase, you need to apply the samples and standards onto the plate in the form of liquid. So that sample application is next step. After sample application, chromatographic development, you need to keep that plate into developing chamber. In chromatographic development chamber, what will happen? The mobile phase will move in upward direction by capillary action force, and as per the affinity of component of interest applied on plate, as per the affinity towards stationary phase or mobile phase, it will get separate out at particular distance from application position, and from that we can calculate its RF value, and depend on polarity we can develop the method. So polarity of compound of interest as well as polarity of different mobile phases. Then after developing the plate, we will get the full picture, whether the bands are separated or not. If bands are separated, its components separated in the form of bands at different RF values, we can photo document that bands, means we can dry the plate after development, and we can capture the plate images under different illuminations, that is under UV light, under visible light, under fluorescent light. We can find out how many UV sensitive compounds separated, how many fluorescent compounds separated, how many visible components are separated. If components are not more visible under all these three wavelengths, we can derivatize the plate. Just like for class of compound analysis, for alkaloid detection, we are derivatizing the TLC or HPTLC plate with a drag and drop reagent. That things we can do and capture the plate image again. After photo documentation, we can do densitometric scanning. We can generate absorption versus RF value response, that is densitogram, for quantitative analysis. And then we can hyphenate with MS, IR, NMR. We can do bioactivity studies by using bioluminizer or bioassays, and effect directed analysis is also possible. And the specialty of this technique is simultaneous analysis. So after completion of derivatization, again we can capture the plate images. Again we can go for scanning and densitometric analysis. These are certain benefits. Up to 6 analysts can use one HPTLC simultaneously, but in our laboratory, more than 14 analysts simultaneously working on same system, and we are analyzing many samples from different application fields. So simultaneous analysis is the key in the research laboratories, and it is fully regulatory accepted. You can just search on internet, just type USP chapter 203, you will get official guidelines for HPTLC analysis, HPTLC methodology and fingerprint identification of materials of botanical origin. Then USP chapter 621, USP chapter 202, then European Pharmacopoeia chapter 2.8.25. All these regulatory bodies given guidelines about HPTLC use. All requirement for QC laboratories are fulfilled by CAMAG HPTLC system. We can do IQ, OQ, and PQ of the system. Then I was talking about standardized methodology. What exactly the methodology is? We are taking the exact dimension of the plate, that is 20 by 10 centimeter TLC or HPTLC plate always, and on that plate we are keeping the solvent front position, that is 70 millimeter from the bottom most of the time, that is optimized distance, and we are applying samples and standards in the form of band. band length is fixed, distance between band is fixed, the location of each band from each side of the plate is fixed. Then band length is 8 millimeters as per USP chapter. Then distance solvent level is 70 millimeter. And we are using a saturated chambers, mobile phase vapor saturated chamber, and we are controlling humidity of the chamber during development. So by using these standardized parameters, we can achieve reproducible results plate to plate, and we can minimize the time required for HPTLC analysis. We can separate more number of components from application position more accurately for further quantification. CAMAG has launched HPTLC Pro in 2019. Asia's first HPTLC Pro you can see in our application research lab at Mulund, Mumbai. I will show you one small video for that.
As world leader in planar chromatography, CAMAG strives for innovation. We constantly shape the future of analytical solutions. HPTLC distinguishes itself by its strength in the visual and comprehensive evaluation of complex samples. But how can we combine this valuable aspect with speed, reliability, and cost efficiency? Introducing HPTLC Pro, our newest contribution to improve analytics, fully automated, reproducible, to the point, making hyperspectral evaluation of analyte mixtures a reality.
HPTLC Pro system is like a relay race where a plate is acting as our baton, and that baton will carry it forward from one athlete to other athlete, from one module to other module. So plate will go from one module to other module automatically through online system, and there is a conveyor belt type of assembly. From that assembly, plate will move from one module to other module. And there are 5 modules in this system, which are very important modules. Along with that, 6th one is a plate holder module. So all these 5 modules acting a main role. So in module number 1 is a sample applicator, 2 is a development chamber, third one is for derivatization, then 4th one is detection by hyperspectral imaging. That is completely new concept in the market of a completely new detection mode. And 5th one is hyphenation of HPTLC. We just need to keep 5 plates in the plate holder module, and we need to set the method in software, give command from software. So automatically 5 plates will be get analyzed in a sequential manner, and on the very next day after coming in the laboratory, we can interpret our results which are visible in computer, in software. All photo images as well as all things will get documented in the software, and we can generate analysis report for 5 plates. So without any manual intervention, we can develop 5 plates, completely automatic and robotic system. I will show you the operation of 2 modules in this system, that is module number 1 and module number 2. Module number 2, sample application and development module. You can see that operation from our laboratory live here. This video we have made to show you the glimpse of HPTLC Pro system, how it is working automatically, fully robotic.
We will probably change it after, not now.
So the last track on the plate has been applied, track number 15.
Yeah.
Now the needle has gone for rinsing. The plate is now finished. You can see the plate is coming out. It is moved to the transport automatically. And now it will be fed into the developing chamber.
It's asking for the second plate.
And the second plate is also going in. So you can see the automation. We are doing 2 analyses back to back. So the second plate will now start being applied while the first plate is being developed. So there is a fresh plate being applied now, and our older plate being developed in this chamber. So that's the
automation. You have heard the voice of our director, sir. A completely automatic and robotic system is the future of CAMAG HPTLC and HPTLC worldwide. Now, what about sample preparation? It is very fast and rapid in HPTLC. Just take 100 milligrams of powdered botanical origin material, dissolve it in 1 milliliter of methanol, sonicate that mixture for 15 minutes and centrifuge at 5000 RPM for few minutes. Then takes clear supernatant solution for application on plate. Very simple, economical and fastest technique for sample preparation. We have compared this technique along with many other like Soxlate, LLE, very tedious and rigorous techniques. So mostly comparable results we achieved by using this technique, and this is accepted worldwide as per USP chapter 203. After preparation of sample, apply that sample on HPTLC or TLC plate by using CAMAG HPTLC applicators. In that series, Linomat 5 is the first module, that is semi-automatic module of sample application. We can apply sample by spray-on technique, and it is contactless application. We can apply 1 microliter to 500 microliters on plate. So mostly we are dealing with lower volumes in period of HPTLC. So this is semi-automatic where syringe rinsing and filling is manual. Otherwise, all part is connected to the software. We can operate through software. Then second one is Auto Sampler 4, that is a completely automatic sample applicator module where just keep your samples and standards in vials, and from particular vial position, the syringe will go in that vial and apply, take out a suitable volume and apply it on plate. And syringe rinsing and filling is completely automatic in ATS4. Then CAMAG Robotic Pro Applicator is the latest module in this series. All these 4 kinds of sample application. At the bottom, very traditional way of sample application. Then in the middle of the plate, for micropreparative isolation, we can apply a long thin band of the sample on plate. So more amount of micro substance we can separate from sample matrix. Then superimpose option is also available. We can spike the sample with standard for recovery studies, or we can do in situ spiking. After sample application on plate, the next step in HPTLC analysis is just take out that plate from applicator module and then keep that plate into development chamber. That will be CAMAG twin trough chamber, or if you have automatic humidity control chamber available with you, ADC2, you can keep the plate into that chamber, which is connected to the software, operated through software. Or you can do gradient type of elution of by using AMD2. Any type of mobile phase or stationary phase is compatible. Any type of plate like reverse phase plate, normal phase plate is compatible, and with that any mobile phase combination. So I saw most of the column chromatographic techniques where we need to select a suitable perfect column or something which will be capable to handle any mobile phase. So that is very tedious, how to search mobile phase, how to select mobile phase and stationary phase in column chromatography. But in HPTLC, you can start with the scratch. If you have normal phase plates available in your lab, you can take that plate, you can apply your sample in the form of solution on plate. Then after that, it will remain in the form of solid. You can dry the plate and keep that plate into any mobile phase having mid-polar, polar or non-polar properties, and develop the plate up to a suitable distance. And you can see the separation pattern. If you are okay with the separation, then you can optimize that mobile phase, further fine tuning, and you can develop one method. So that is very easy in the period of HPTLC. Only 30 milliliters of solvent is required for a 15 sample analysis. This is automatic chromatogram development chamber. 33% humidity of the chamber we can maintain during chromatographic development. Along with that, automatic solvent front monitoring system is also there, connected to software. Vision Cat's CGLP compliant software. Then automated multiple development, gradient development we can do. Up to a particular distance, we can develop the plate with polar, mid-polar, or non-polar stationary phase. We can change the composition of mobile phase during chromatographic development. But here the gradient program is based on distance traveled by solvent and not on time, just like in column. So this is the utility of AMD2. Original sample contains polar, mid-polar as well as non-polar components. Firstly, we can develop the plate with polar solvent. Then we can develop the plate with mid-polar solvent up to next distance. And then we can develop the plate with non-polar solvents. So all the properties of compounds, all that compounds we can separate at different RF values. Until and unless our final aim is separation, good resolution between separated components. So this is one very good example of application of MD2. We have separated lipids, phospholipids from each other. This work published in CAMAC bibliographic service. After chromatographic development, firstly we have seen application, then development, then we need to document that plate images. So for that we can use CAMAC visualizer. There are three lamps: deuterium, tungsten, and mercury. We can capture the plate images under 254 nanometer light, 366 nanometer light, fluorescent light, or 540 nanometer white light. And image will automatically come in your final analysis report. What is the concept of HPLC fingerprint? HPLC fingerprint is nothing but electronic image of the visual HPLC chromatogram. Here you can see this is first HPLC fingerprint. Here we have applied sample at the bottom and we have run that plate into a suitable mobile phase up to a particular distance. After running the plate, we can see the separated bands here. So this one track number 1 is HPLC fingerprint of this sample applied at the bottom under 254 nanometer UV light. This second one is a fingerprint of that same sample under 366 nanometer longer wavelength fluorescent UV light. And this is third one, track image, is again same HPLC fingerprint of that sample after derivatization. And fourth one is again fingerprint of sample under visible light after derivatization. So it accounts for 100% of the sample. This slide will better explain you the use of HPLC fingerprint. Piper nigrum, Piper longum, retroflectum having its own kind of chemical composition. So if we develop the fingerprint of each species, that fingerprint will look different from each other. So by that differentiation, we can differentiate between two plant species or two different samples. But the major marker in all Piper species will remain same and will come at same RF values in all the samples, all sample fingerprints. Here also in Piper borbenins, you can see the piperin here, in Piper cubeba, in Piper retrofractum piperin is here, in Piper longum, in Piper nigrum. But other markers are different, other chemical composition is different, so therefore fingerprint is different. So firstly, upper one is a fingerprint under 366 nanometer light and lower one is fingerprint under white light. So CAMAC visualizer will give you option to compare HPLC fingerprints of many samples on single screen. So that is possible for herbal raw material quality control. It is very useful tool. Then quantitative evaluation, that is possible with CAMAC densitometer. So we can say scanner 4 is the latest innovation. So 190 to 900 nanometer, any single wavelength we can generate for scanning the plate. Suppose we want to find out the amount of caffeine in green tea. So we have applied caffeine standards along with green tea samples on plate. So lambda max value of caffeine is 276 nanometer. So we can scan the plate under 276 nanometer to generate a peak response for quantitative analysis of caffeine from green tea sample. That is possible with CAMAC scanner 4. So it is for quantitative analysis. Then we can generate a spectra also. This is schematic of scanner 4. Suppose there are 4 bands separated in one fingerprint. So it will generate 4 peaks in the chromatogram. So the area of peak is proportional to amount of that band present on the plate. And we can generate absorption spectra from 190 nanometer to 900 nanometer. Spectra for each different compound is different. So it is unique property, absorption behavior of that molecule. You can see sulfomethoxazole, trimethoprim, dimetridazole having its own kind of absorption spectra. Then what is the use of scanner in further deep? The bands which are not visible under any light, by using visualizer or UV cabinet, we can scan the plate as per their lambda max values. Here tetrahydrocannabinol is not visible under 254 nanometer light. Then we can generate a single wavelength of 210 nanometer, that is a lambda max value of THC, and we can generate peak response for it, and we can find out the presence of THC in the fingerprint. Then after detection, if some molecules are not absorbing light, then how to detect that molecules? We can derivatize the plate by using Camac derivatizer. It will generate a extremely fine mist of your derivatizing reagent. You just need 2 milliliter of reagent, pour in the nozzle, and it will generate a very fine mist of that derivatizing reagent. Just from this nozzle, pour 2 milliliters of reagent. Keep your plate here on the stage of Camac derivatizer. There is a hood. In this hood, the mist will generate, that very fine mist will fall onto the plate and uniformly derivatize the plate, settle down onto the plate. So this is user independent derivatization technique, and whatever vapors generated in this hood collected automatically by using pump into waste collector bottle kept at the back side of this instrument. So it is eco-friendly tool. No hazardous vapors are generated in this technique during derivatization. And after spraying the reagent onto the plate, heat the plate at desired temperature. Camac plate heater is a useful instrument available for it. You can generate 25 degree to 200 degrees Celsius any single temperature on, and the surface of plate heater is very much robust towards acids or bases present in derivatizing reagents. This is one good example. After derivatization, you can find out different classes of compounds present in your botanical origin material. For phenolics classes, you can derivatize the plate by using alcoholic FeCl3. For flavonoids, you can derivatize the plate by using natural product reagent, etc. We can hyphenate HPTLC by using HPTLC MS interface. I will show you the schematic. The one end of this interface is connected to the HPLC pump from where 0.3 milliliter per ml solvent will fall onto the plate. Here, this is our plate we have kept at the stage of TLC-MS interface. Here, the desired band we want to elute through interface, and we need to focus on that band. The flow of more suitable eluent will fall onto the band, will dissolve the band of interest, and it will suck the band into MS automatically through outlet tubing. So that sucking action is possible through nitrogen gas connected to this interface. And while going into the MS, water silica coming out along with that band will get filter out here through inline frit. So that is the specialty. Very pure fraction separated on plate we can elute rapidly by using TLC-MS interface, and we can find out molecular mass of the separated band. Then Camac bioluminizer is useful to capture the plate images which are showing very low luminescence onto the plate. So for that we are using Alivibrio fishery bacteria. After HPTLC separation, suppose we want to find out the bioactivity of separated band, we can strain the plate with Alivibrio fishery bacteria. We can keep that plate under incubation in suitable agar media. And after incubation, we can capture the plate image under bioluminizer. Alivibrio fishery bacteria are bioluminescent. Suppose if the substance separated band is responsible for the death of that bacteria, we can't see any luminescence coming out from that RF value. So that dark zones are nothing but inhibition zones, and we can say that separated component is bioactive and responsible for the death of fishery bacteria. This is holistic approach how we can use HPTLC with hyphenation in new drug discovery, new bioactive product discovery. So first do HPTLC separation, chromatography properly, separate compounds of interest, and then image document it, and then strain it with suitable bacteria and find out bioactivity, and then hyphenate technique to find out molecular mass and do structural elucidation for bioactive compounds. So this example is available on internet. If you want, you can contact us. We have given the reference also. Advantages are there for this hyphenation. This is general chapter published in USP 2251 chapter. You can see for hyphenation. One very good example, tadalafil detection in Ayurvedic sample. We got exact molecular mass for separated tadalafil on HPTLC plate from tablet sample, Ayurvedic tablet sample, and for standard sample applied, standard of tadalafil applied on plate. Joint poster presented under ASMS conference USA, collaboration with Chimazu. Method development and validation is very much fast in HPTLC. We can validate as per ICH Q2R1 guidelines, all these parameters we can fulfill. This is literature available on HPTLC. Now, in the last part of my presentation, I will cover different applications, mostly in pharmaceutical field as well as in botanical origin material research. But if sample is in liquid form, liquid solution form, you can take that sample from any field like forensic. There are many applications in toxicology, narcotics department. There are many applications of HPTLC in industrial analysis, in organic chemistry. So HPTLC is everywhere. As per your need, you can utilize it. Firstly, we will see pharmaceutical applications. To check the label claim assay of the major API in any formulation, we can use HPTLC. This is assay of glimepiride from Glymer 1 mg tablet. Then post-degradation studies of glimepiride, we can do accelerated stability studies, post-degradation, etc. for impurity profiling, related substance analysis. This is identification of miltefosine. We have developed this method for one reputed pharma industry in India, and after derivatization, miltefosine is detectable. So this developed method is after derivatization. So very good and sensitive method for dissolution studies as well as assay of miltefosine tablet. Then impurity profiling for carbazole samples. This method we have developed in our laboratory. The separated impurities, we have captured their absorption spectra. Then we can further go in depth for characterization by hyphenation. Then alpha artemether and dihydroartemisinin in artemether formulation tablets by HPTLC. Then unknown impurities up to 0.1% we can easily detect and characterize. Cleaning validation. Now Weimer is a reputed pharma industry in Europe, and Weimer industry employed this HPTLC method for cleaning validation purpose. So you can think how HPTLC is beneficial in many application fields. Now some botanical applications. Straightforward identification of markers like agnosides and nigundosides in Vitex nigundo, that is Nirgudi, very famous herb in Ayurveda, added in pain killing Ayurvedic tales and formulations. Vidania somnifera, that is ashwagandha, contains vidanolides A, vidanolide B, etc. Beta cytosterol, sterols, different sterols. So we can separate it at different RF values, and we can standardize the material. We can set HPTLC method for raw material identification as well as formulations containing vidania. Then we can differentiate between two species, Garcinia gummigatta and Garcinia indica. Garcinol is major marker in both, but another marker which is coming at lower RF value than Garcinol, that is present only in Garcinia indica and not in Garcinia gummigatta. Not only single plant or single herb, we can standardize polyherbal formulation also by using HPTLC. This is one very good example. A formulation containing 8 different plants we have standardized, that is Samangadi Churna. We have separated gallic acid also and quantified that amount of gallic acid during standardization. Then ginkgolides A, B, C and biloboloids we have separated. This very good method developed by CAMAG laboratory. Now the trend is in phytopharmaceutical industry, we just need to apply more than four markers on single plate, and by using that 4 markers we need to standardize our phytopharmaceutical. So for that trend, HPTLC is very beneficial. Beta cetosterol in plant sample, we can quantify beta cetosterol, very commonly found secondary metabolite. Artemisinin in Artemisia annua, a new compound detected and very useful, showing pharmaceutical activity. Nimesulide and diclofenac in Ayurvedic tablets. So that is not acceptable because they are claiming the pain killing activities because of herbs added into Ayurvedic tablets. But no, most of the time many manufacturers are adding synthetic APIs like nimesulide and diclofenac. That is not acceptable. We have checked the presence of that synthetic APIs showing pain killing activities into Ayurvedic formulations. Then mixture of 2 different plant species, Curcuma longa in Curcuma xanthorrhiza, we can identify by using HPTLC fingerprint method. Different steroids, corticosteroids like prednisolone acetate, prednisolone, etc. From herbal formulations we can separate and we can quantify. Stability studies. So we can develop the HPTLC fingerprint at 0 time and after particular time intervals. So HPTLC fingerprint accounts for chemical composition. If during the stability time the chemical composition of your sample is changing, then you can see the change in HPTLC fingerprint. If fingerprints are remaining same after particular time, you can say that sample is stable for that particular time. Antioxidant properties of compounds we can find out. So we can prepare the sample, apply on HPTLC plate, separate its components, and then we can dip that HPTLC plate into DPPH reagents. And those bands which are showing yellowish color on a violet background, we can say that bands are having antioxidant properties. So number of antioxidant compounds we can detect and separate from each other on HPTLC plate. So this is very good method. If we are doing it by using UV visible spectrophotometer, we can generate total percentage of antioxidant compounds. But here we can separate all different components which are responsible for antioxidant properties on HPTLC plate. So it is more rigorous and very fast and rapid technique for antioxidant compound detection. Then cardenolides, one alkaloid present in Calotropis procera, easily we can detect. Then up to picogram level of sensitivity, applications is in food also. In food samples, presence of aflatoxin is not permitted. The limit is 0.5 ppb as per FSSAI guidelines. So we up to that sensitivity by using HPTLC, we can detect the aflatoxins B1, B2, G1, G2 from food samples like stored grains, etc. So this very good method available on website. Now at the end of this session, our culture is again student friendly, researcher friendly. This is most promising researcher award won by Dr. Vandana Gawande ma'am. She won Euro 2000 scholarship, and Ancrom has sponsored her research work and given sponsorship to participate in HPTLC symposium. Yugandhara Patil ma'am won Gold Prize, and Ancrom sponsor her research work as well as participation in Bangkok symposium. Our philosophy is we are not only traders, we are technologists too. We want to be your analytical partner, not merely a supplier. This is our team, CAMAG HPTLC Application Research Laboratory by Ancrom in Mulund, Mumbai. You can contact us anytime for further details. Thank you from my side. Thank you from Ancrom.
Thank you, Vishwajit, for a very elaborate presentation on HPLC. The session is open for discussion. Students, if you have any doubts or clarification, you can ask.
I request all the participants, if you have any query, you can ask. My senior lab assistant lab manager, Sir Dr. Sekat Malik sir is there. And along with that, some lab members are also there. You can ask your question. If you don't have question right now, if you face any question in future, you can write us on lab@ancrom.in. If you want any method discussed in this webinar, we can send through email. You can write us.
Yeah, HPTLC, Vishwajit, thank you. I'm
Yeah.
seeing one question in the chat box, so I will just take up that question and answer it. Mr. Keith, Miss Kirti has asked a question: can we use HPTLC for plant whom standards are not known? So basically, she is asking for plant HPTLC, can it be used for unknown plants? So this is an interesting question because this is a common query to many of us whenever we come across somebody who wants to do HPTLC analysis. They always wish to know if it's unknown, can we do HPTLC analysis of that? So the answer is yes. And how we do it, I will just explain you the phenomenon. Normally what we do is we prepare the sample preparation as per the USP format, and then we use different mobile phases. First of all, review of literature is very important in this case. You need to know thoroughly where the plant has been reported for what activities, or at least try to establish a correlation or to understand what all phytochemicals have been reported. For example, if the plant has been reported for an alkaloid presence, you can go start with your research work by finding out alkaloid metabolites into the plant sample. Or alternatively, if you don't have any information of its phytochemical, hello, are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah. Alternatively, if you know that the plant is active on certain types of property, maybe antimicrobial and things like that. So generally flavonoids, from the review of literature, you can find out that what molecules have this tendency to show antimicrobial activity, antioxidant activity, and then a target specific research work on a particular class of compound can be targeted. Now, when we are talking about the standardization of the plant material, this is how we start. After we have established a method, we observe with the separation pattern of the molecule. When the sample is being separated on HPTLC, we check for components which are separated. There will be few darker bands, few lighter bands. So it is very important to assess that when you want to establish anything as a marker, you have to select for a darker band, and this observation has to be taken care after a large sample size is taken. Okay, so you don't just take one plant sample and start doing and establish its fingerprint. You have to collect the plant sample from different locations at different time points, and then if any adulteration is being, you are coming into knowledge that this adulteration is also being used for this plant and this plant has medicinal value, you also have to take into the account and then develop a method with all these samples and check whether something unique is being observed, and that uniqueness will be the intensity of the bands. If the band is like here in the example which is currently seen on your screen, this is garcinol, this is a known standard, but you see the intensity on the sample is very high. So based on that, the intensity of the marker has to be in a good quantity so that they represent the major compound which is present in the plant. And then what we do is we try to extract this marker from the plant, from the separation, chromatographic separation after it has been done, collect it into a vial, and maybe I can do a 2D chromatography to find out whether the molecule is singular in nature or it has some other components. Complementarily, you can also use an LCMS where you take this extract and directly the spot which is there, you can isolate it and then subject it to LCMS and see the separated chromatograms which are there, whether it is a single component or a multiple component, that you can find out. And after this, you should be in a position to at least come to a conclusion what you observe. MS data, IR data, and NMR data of this isolated compound has to be tested. And after testing, you have to find out, collect the data, see the database which are available, that is NIST and things like that. And then finally, you should combine all this result and come to a conclusion as to what is that compound. So unknown compound identification is absolutely possible. Now the biggest advantage of HPTLC is you see the 100% of the sample, so you know that some compounds are there at the bottom, some have gone up. So if I am not getting, like in this, it is a good method for garcinol, but if you want to speak for a fingerprint, it may or may not be a good method, because I am not seeing other compounds which may be of my interest, which are unknown totally. So in that case, I can change the mobile phase and I can develop. You have a concept of multiple development, which is similar like gradient aspect in HPTLC, and we use different mobile phases to change the composition and then develop it onto the plate and separate compounds. So this is, you can see that image has been brought about by my colleague, where each step you change the mobile phase composition. Like for example, toluene ethyl acetate is there. Gradually, I will decrease the amount of toluene, increase the amount of ethyl acetate. And similarly, I can play with different organic solvents, make a combination, and I can develop it. So that also can be utilized for evaluating such kind of plant samples. So this is a general strategy how we go about of identification and things like that. Hope this gives you a good insight, and it helps you out. So thank you. So now we look forward to more questions. If you have your question, just raise your hand and we'll unmute yourself. It may be a very simple question. No question is, stupid or something like that. Every question is pertaining to R&D, and you are this session has exclusively brought about to have this interaction and clear the doubt. So please feel free to ask your question. And in the chat box, thank you, Kirti. I've received your response. Thanks. And we await more questions. So let us wait for some time. And unknown star plants are already always a question for us, and that is why a review of literature is really the backup to start with. So I advise every one of you to have a good review of literature, see what is already done into that plant, what is remaining, what all properties they have. Sometimes the concept is known as reverse pharmacology. From the activity you start digging and you go back to find out the molecule. So something like that can be targeted. So she has also stated, if we are having an unknown alkaloid, do we have to compare from standard of all the existing alkaloids? You can characterize this alkaloid by its own. By, as I told you, you require the data, 3 datas which are required: MS data, IR data, and NMR data, and based on that, then you can come to a conclusion what this compound is. Unknown alkaloid, only if you're going for validation, you will have to prove what is that alkaloid, because if you're claiming that alkaloid is responsible for a certain activity in the plant, then you have to justify and characterize that alkaloid, so that also it becomes novel, and new molecule discovery is happening. So in that case, you can you should characterize it. You can compare based on the literature. Definitely, if it is a good alkaloid, it will be mentioned in the literature. If not, then you can use that. So hope
Yes.
this gives you a clear insight.
Yes, you can use 2-3 spectroscopic techniques in complementary, means MS, NMR, and you can do HPTLC, MS along with complementary techniques, and you can finalize and confirm the structure of alkaloid and name of the alkaloid.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
So I think many of them might have questions when they do start working or into the research work when they are into. So don't worry about that. Just drop in some mail and we'll revert back to your query. With this note, many thanks to the organizers who have provided us this opportunity on behalf of Anchrome team. And it's always a privilege to be in such platforms and exchange our knowledge. See, one thing to all the students and or the researchers who are present attending this session is that it is always important to understand fit to purpose concept. What is fit to your work, that has to be known, and that is why we take special care to make you understand this technique very deeply, so that you can utilize it to the maximum and get the most out of it for your research work. So with this note, I would like to end my talk and hand over the session to the organizers. Thank you once again to all the organizers. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you from my side.
Thank you so much, Dr. Shakil and Vishwajit, for joining us today, elaborating about the HPTLCs and this training. There's a query for is training available for UG students?
Absolutely, absolutely. Training is available with mutual communication and mutual convenience. We can schedule that. We have a training programs, 1-day, 2-day training programs, and this is done at free of cost at our center. So you don't have to worry. Just come over here, and then we will be taking care of you. So don't worry about that. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doctor, for joining us.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
May I request organizer permission to exit from this session?
This session.
Yes, Doctor.
Yeah. Thank you so much. All of you, take care, stay safe.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Students, the next session is at 12 o'clock only. So you can all take a break and join us back at 12. Okay. We have session from 12 to 1. Thank you.